Hello, football fans, and welcome back to Goalside. Takumi Minamino stunned Liverpool with his performances at Red Bull Salzburg, resulting in the Reds signing the Japanese. But is that the real reason? In this episode, we'll analyze the reason Liverpool signed the winger. So, let's get started. It all started back in 2002. Japan co-hosted the World Cup where Brazil won the tournament behind alien-like performances from Ronaldo Nazario de Lima. The whole continent consumed the most entertaining sport in the world, living and breathing football for the whole month. The 7-year-old Takumi Minamino was no different. Takumi was obsessed with Ronaldo and his skills and dribbles. The Brazilian looked invincible on the pitch, and even at the age of 7, Minamino knew he wanted to be like that when he grew up. Luckily for Minamino, he wasn't the only football fan in the family. Both his brother and his father are football fanatics, so the three of them often played together in the backyard. It was a tough time for Japan, with seismic disasters hitting the country. Minamino was born just 2 days after the Hanshin earthquake, which claimed more than 6,000 lives in Japan. Luck was on his side on the pitch, too. Minamino was one of the most talented players in the whole country. He played in his local club, Sessor Kumatori, and practiced relentlessly. Not only did he play for his youth club, but he also trained in his free time. His brother and role model, Kenta, used to put up obstacles for Takumi, who had to go through them with the ball. All of this boosted his talent, and Sariso Osaka took notice in 2007. When the 12-year-old joined their academy, once he got there, he would commonly watch the first team train and sometimes even participate in training, and he had some good players to learn from, too. Shinji Kagawa was the first team member at the time before making his big move to Germany. Not only that, but Minamino would get the opportunity to play with legendary Diego Forlan later on, who joined Sariso Osaka in the dawn of his footballing career. Minamino's goal-scoring talent and quickness came through early. He participated in an under-15 competition ranging through the whole of Japan. Even though his team finished 8th, Minamino was the top scorer of the tournament, finding the net 8 times. With Minamino being so determined, he willed his team to the first place the following season, where he even scored a hat-trick in a match. This propelled the club to upgrade his status, moving him to play with the under-18s team at the age of 16. Even though most players were actually older than Minamino, he was the 4th best scorer in the under-18 league. Minamino's talent was too obvious to look past. Sariso Osaka knew this, so they gave this youngster a debut when he was just 17 years old. He was slowly introduced to the first team, where he finally became a full-time member in 2013. On the 7th of July that same year, Minamino became the youngest ever player to score for Sariso Osaka in the J1 League. He was the star of the country. Osaka played Manchester United in a friendly just 20 days after his debut league goal, and Takumi Minamino scored a stunning goal, receiving praise from the then United manager David Moyes. It looked like he was on top of the world, and then disaster struck. Minamino suffered a ligament injury that would keep him off the pitch for around 2 months. However, the winger came back in style, scoring match after match, only to win the J1 League Best Newcomer Award for his great performances in 2013. However, the following year would prove fatal for his club. Despite Minamino's great performances, Sariso Osaka were relegated in 2014. The fans eventually even took it out on him, criticizing his defensive contributions. And what did he do? Well, he went to Twitter and apologized. This was the second time he apologized on Twitter, with the first time being when he received a red card earlier that season. When his team got relegated, it was pretty obvious that Minamino would move abroad, given that he was far too much quality to compete in Japan's second division. Red Bull Salzburg came calling, and he didn't have to think twice. It wasn't just out of nowhere, too. Salzburg followed Minamino for a year and a half before snatching their opportunity and signing him in January of 2015. It didn't take long for Minamino to get accustomed to Salzburg either. As soon as he arrived, Minamino took command of the left winger spot, and he would never let it go until leaving the club. He scored 3 goals in the second half of the 2014-15 season, but more importantly, he provided a spark of creativity, quality, and relentlessness week in and week out, establishing himself as an undisputed starter for Salzburg. The next season is where Minamino really made his impact known. The Japanese scored 5 goals in August alone. Even though this kind of form was unsustainable, Minamino ended the season with 13 goals to his name, promising an even better future both for him and Salzburg. However, the 2016-17 season wouldn't prove to be so fruitful for the winger. He alternated between the bench and the pitch quite often, as he didn't provide the spark he did the previous season. Still, Salzburg ended up winning another league and cup title with Minamino's contribution of 14 goals. The 2017-18 season was much better, with Salzburg reaching the Europa League semis, where they lost to Marseille, and Minamino was all there for it, ending the season with a whopping 44 appearances for the club. After the season of success, they wanted more. Jesse Marsch took over as the manager at Red Bull Salzburg, and right from the start, he made Takumi Minamino his primary player, using him to all capacities. This resulted in the Japanese international getting the attention Europe-wide, most of it coming from his Champions League appearances. Salzburg were drawn in a group with Genk, Napoli, and Liverpool, all but easy components. However, alongside Erling Braut Haaland, Takumi Minamino created an unstoppable duo, with the club threatening even the European champions at Liverpool. Minamino was especially dangerous against the Reds, resulting in almost a knockout group stage match where Liverpool prevailed despite Minamino's excellent performance. Salzburg sporting director already proclaimed Minamino as the next big thing to come out of the club, saying, "He is an outstanding player with an outstanding personality. The big clubs have been watching him, and if I was them, I'd have no hesitation to sign him. Takumi is ready to take the next step in January." Jurgen Klopp took notice, and he allegedly told his assistant that he wants Minamino at Liverpool as soon as they can get him. As we all know well by now, Takumi Minamino signed to join the Anfield side, propelling himself to the world's elite. Contrary to what you may think, there are far bigger than just footballing reasons for Liverpool signing Minamino. A big, huge reason why Liverpool actually signed Takumi Minamino is simply his home country. Japan is an enormous market for all top European clubs, Liverpool included. The potential earnings for money are incredible in Japan. This is why the big clubs want to make a breakthrough to the Asian market. And Minamino's signing could achieve just that for Liverpool, as they want to compete with Manchester United, who are the biggest in Asia. Minamino is one of Japan's best, if not the best player already. Fielding him in the world's most popular league would cause an eruption in Japan and thousands of new fans of the club. These fans convert into merchandise sales, giving more and more revenue for the club. Liverpool are spreading into the other Asian markets too. They'll organize friendlies in the summer of 2020, playing in China, where they will try to attract the world's fastest-growing economy. Don't mix it up. Minamino is a great player, and he would likely get snatched by a big club even if he wasn't Japanese. This just solidified his signing over some other potential newcomers in Liverpool. However, there's even a bigger connection than just being Japanese. Two of Liverpool's current starters played for Red Bull Salzburg in the past, Sadio Mane and Naby Keita. This is particularly interesting because Klopp and Salzburg nurture a similar playing style, high tempo and high pressure, never giving up an inch over the course of 90 minutes. Players have to physically be in perfect shape in order to fulfill all the requirements, but if they are, then you get the European champions that Liverpool currently are. Many people see the similarity between playing styles, just like Andy Robertson. The fullback played directly against Takumi Minamino, and he was thrilled for the Japanese to arrive at the club. It was difficult to play against Salzburg, full stop, but I thought he, Takumi Minamino, was their main man. He was the one, especially at Anfield, who caused us problems. When we went 3-0 up, he started to dictate the game. He started to run at us a wee bit, and he got a goal and an assist. That might be why the gaffer started looking at him and thinking, who is this player? In the 2 games we played against them, he was great. Other than that, I hadn't really seen him play. He will be a welcome addition for us, and I'm sure he will be a fantastic player. He doesn't just fit Liverpool with his fast-paced playing style and speed, but also with his mentality. Just like most of Jurgen Klopp's squad, including the German himself, Minamino is a very outgoing and social person, as he has a reputation for being a joker amongst his friends. This is another confirmation that Liverpool indeed followed Minamino both on and off the pitch for a while in order to make sure he fits the club's philosophy. Jurgen Klopp knew it too, so when he talked about Minamino in the press conference, he praised his personality. He is a type of player we need. He can play all offensive positions, which is good. Maybe he can play as an 8 as well. He is a sensationally good guy. He's smart, he speaks really good German, and will learn English quick, and I'm really looking forward to it. The story that encapsulates Takumi Minamino's character the most is the one about Neymar. When the Japanese public went crazy after him, they named him Japanese Neymar. However, none other than Minamino himself refused that nickname, going out publicly against it. I don't want to compare myself to it at all. Should I ever manage to get as good as he is, then I would gladly accept my nickname. Minamino was never alone in his career. His father was his primary coach. The two would often watch Minamino's matches together, analyzing what he could do better and how to improve for the future. His 55-year-old father is still there and active, following every second of his son's career. A role model and an example as to how to go through life through hard work and determination. Takumi Minamino made a name for himself, slowly building his career towards the greatness he reached today, and we could all learn a bit from the Japanese star.